congratulations. The stock up 6%. Investors rewarding your quarter. Tell us how you managed to beat the odds this quarter.
Thank you, Vonnie. Look, it was an amazing performance by our global organization. 55,000 talented people all over the world. But when the virus hit, in March, and we had to kind of put some guidance out there for the third quarter, this was unprecedented. We didn't know what we were facing. A lot of our clients temporarily shut down, especially on some of the key federal government clients. But we did an amazing job on getting 85% of our people virtually working from home in a week, being able to access some of the most sophisticated engineering tools, and the productivity has been extremely high. And on top of that, we were able to get about 10,000 of our employees onto the work sites for some of the critical missions that our government does around NASA, Department of Energy, Department of Defense, some of the most classified work. And we really outperformed our ability to manage through the physical distancing. So it was really a great job by the team.
Now, Vertical Research Partners was underlining the free cash flow, which was particularly strong this quarter. Can you continue that kind of performance, free cash flow-wise, Steve?
Yeah, the last several years, we've been on this journey to transform the company from a traditional engineering construction to an innovative technology solutions player. And as part of that, we made some acquisitions and made a divestiture, and we needed to go through this restructuring, which had a big investment. What's great now is the majority of all that hard work is behind us. We're now demonstrating the cash generation power of this company. And as we talked about on the earnings call, we do expect to continue to generate cash and have that be a big piece of the success story of Jacobs going forward.
Now, Jacobs is a leader in engineering for healthcare, Steve. So how are you pivoting parts of the business in order to deal with COVID and potential vaccines coming down the pike?
Yeah, we're a major player in the whole life sciences arena. And over the last several months, we've actually won several initiatives to help this rapid retrofitting of major pharma facilities around the world. We all know there's a number of these activities going on, but when you look at the top 6, we're in 4 out of those 6. We're an end-to-end player as far as designing, engineering, getting these things commissioned, and so our Jacobs team is doing a great job there.
How much are you dependent on federal infrastructure help? We never did get that infrastructure week, or at least not yet, but that or some kind of new stimulus that might include something along those lines, Steve?
Yeah, right now, as far as we're concerned, we're just continuing to move forward and not really depending on that to be able to meet the guidance that we put out there. But clearly what we want to see coming out of this current bill that is being negotiated over the next days or so is some support for state and local governments that have seen a decline in revenues, and to be able to keep some critical infrastructure initiatives going forward. We believe that there'll be something coming out of that. More important initiative is to really finally, once and for all, for our U.S. Government to get after this whole aging infrastructure, the need to advance digital technology across a whole host of critical infrastructure across our nation. And we do think that, at some point, maybe after the election, since both parties are supportive of it, that we'll get something done there. And the same thing outside of the U.S. UK is a big market for us. We have about 10,000 people there, and Boris Johnson won on the backs of infrastructure revolution, and we see that coming down here soon as another opportunity for Jacobs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these efforts have stalled. Also the idea of the defense budget being slower growing, flat, maybe even declining. How much is that causing you to rethink parts of your business or the government-focused businesses?
Actually not at all. And it's the opposite. Even though the defense budget, around $740 billion is flattish going from 20 to 21, when you look at the different pieces, there are components of that budget that are actually growing, and some very significantly. And the majority of our critical mission solutions business fits right into that. If you take the Department of Defense's space budget, $18 billion, it's up 28%. That's where, the recent acquisition we made of KeyW, where we're in classified space intelligence work, is rightly aligned, but also cyber, PFAS, environmental opportunities. You go down many classified programs, hypersonics, which Jacobs has become a major player in the whole hypersonics area.
Yeah.
These are all growing, and therefore we're not looking at a flat budget. We're actually looking at the component of that budget that's growing.
Steve, just very briefly, you employ nearly 50,000 people globally, primarily here in the UK and some other countries, and you're involved in a big diversity effort which had already gotten underway even as the pandemic was hitting. How are you labour force-wise now, both diversity-wise? Are you meeting your goals? Are you having to lay off people?
Yeah, so a great comment, a great question. Over the last 4 years, we've been on this transformation journey that I talked about. The most important part of that journey has been a transformational part of our culture. It's as far as inspiring, engaging, including all 55,000 of our employees. We made great progress over the last couple of years on gender diversity. When I arrived 5 years ago at Jacobs, we didn't have one female on our executive leadership team. We now have 50%. Today, we announced a major advancing of justice and equality around our Black employees. It's our next part of our journey.
That is fantastic, Steve. Thank you. We will hear more again. Steve Demetriou, CEO of Jacobs.